So hi and welcome again to my video vlog. Today I'm going to talk about doubt, that is uncertainty and well, basically your own uncertainty as a transsexual, probably, and my own mostly. Okay, so a lot of people come to me and tell me how courageous I am and how certain I seem to be about what I want to do, that is transitioning and all that. And well, it seems that people think I don't have any doubts, that I'm fully certain and that I don't ever think twice, and this is not actually true. I do have doubts, and every once in a while I'll think about it, and well, just last weekend I was kind of sad, kind of depressed, and well, I was thinking about my transition, which is going to happen really soon actually. What I mean is my coming out, my living full time as a woman. And so I was thinking about that, and I was wondering, would I just be better giving everything up, stopping the hormones and stopping the transition? Because obviously it's not going to make things easier, at least in the beginning. Transition means I'm going to have to face more difficulties and possibly, most likely, some amount of hostility from other people, and this is kind of stressful to me. So sometimes I wonder, am I making a mistake? Should I just go back to being a guy and trying to do with what I have right now and kind of giving up this whole idea? And well, I'm not giving up. I don't plan on giving up because I want to try living as a woman. I've always wanted to do that, and the only way I'll know if it's good or not for me is by trying it. And so this is what I'd like to tell to other transsexuals who have doubts and who aren't certain. It's that the only way you'll know for sure whether it's for you or not is by trying it. So if you're not ready to come out in transition, maybe you could try going out as a girl. That would be a good start. But the only way to know whether it's for you or not is the real life test, that is living as a girl for a couple months at least and knowing, do you feel better now that you're a girl or not? And this is what I believe most therapists recommend before having a sex change. It's actually living in the gender that you would like to be perceived as for some amount of time. And from my experience with other people, most of the time it turns out, well, most transsexuals will eventually choose to live in the gender that they've always wanted to be. Some people will choose not to for their own reasons. They'll decide it's not for them, and that's their choice. But it's very important to actually try this. I've seen some video on YouTube. I don't know the exact name or the exact tags for this video, but it was some homosexual who seemed to think that he was a transsexual for some time and had got a sex change operation, and he seemed to regret this very seriously. And I think this is a good example, although pretty sad example, that illustrates my point that you have to try it before you buy it. Basically, this person that was homosexual and who is not really transsexual had not apparently had a very long amount of time as a girl before he made his decision. He sort of pressured his doctor into doing it and regretted it afterwards. I personally don't plan to have SRS for at least 2 or 3 years after my big coming out. This might seem like a strange decision for most people. I guess most transsexuals want to do this fairly quickly, but I think, that I want to give myself enough time to be really sure. Plus, unlike most transsexuals, I don't really feel that my genitalia is the most important aspect of this. My main priority is to be able to live in the gender which I want to be perceived as, and as long as people don't look at my pants, then they don't know. So that's not necessarily a problem. Plus, I would personally prefer to invest in something like a facial surgery, facial feminization surgery, to make myself look better and improve my chances at passing than SRS. So maybe I'll keep it for later. Maybe I'll wait even longer than 3 years. I will probably end up doing it, but I want to be really sure I'm not making a mistake. And in the end, if you've been living as a girl or in your desired gender even for a year, and you find out that you're depressed and that this is not for you, it's never too late to come back. I mean, even if you had SRS, you can come back. But if you haven't, all you have to do is stop hormones, get a haircut, maybe a breast reduction if they've developed enough that they're very noticeable, and then you're back as a man, for example. So I mean, it's possible to come back in the end, and maybe your friends will be surprised or disappointed at you if you do go back, but in the end what matters is your own well-being, and it's an option that you have to come back in the end. And well, I know some people actually recommend living as a girl for some time before you even start hormones. I personally decided to start hormones before because I didn't think I was very passable. I mean, I've shown you a picture of what I've looked like 2 years ago before the hormones, before I made any efforts to look like a female, and I didn't look feminine at all, and nobody would ever have believed that I was a woman, at that time. And actually, even now, I don't think I'm that passable. I mean, most people identify me as a guy still, so, well, the voice doesn't help, fine. But even if I don't speak to people, they tend to perceive me as a guy, so I still have some work to do. But, so that's it. I wanted to tell you that I'm human, and like every human, I'm subject to fear and doubt, and I try to control my doubts as much as I can, but I still have them. But I've decided that I was going to transition, and that's not going to change. I'm going to do my real life test very soon now, most likely before the summer starts or during the summer, and then I'll know for sure whether this is for me or not. But anyways, I don't think that questioning yourself is bad. I mean, if you're transsexual and you have doubts, it doesn't mean that you're not transsexual. It just means that you're human, and it's normal that you have doubts when you're in an environment that's not very supportive. For example, my mom always does everything she can to try to convince me that I should just give up this whole thing because it's only going to make my life worse, and that's affecting me. Even if I don't like what she says, it does affect me because she's my mother, and I've always trusted her to some extent, and now she's against me in this process, and it's not really helping me. And I did tell you in one of my previous blogs that my mom was coming around to this idea, and well, she seems to be making some progress, but still, I can't really say that she's supportive, and it's probably going to take quite a while. But I do believe there is hope. I love my mom, I know she loves me, and I think that at some point she'll accept this better. But anyways, I have to deal with my own issues like everyone else, and if you have doubts, it's normal, and you don't have to feel bad about it. And if you're transsexual, I don't really advise giving up in a sense, because you could think, okay, well, I'm going to try to masculinize myself and accept myself as a real man, but if you have been thinking about transitioning for several years, chances are this feeling is just not going to go away. So, in a sense, you might as well give in and try living as a woman for some time, figure out if it's for you or not, and then make your final decision. So that's what life is about, trying things and seeing what's best for you. And well, in a sense, you might think that there's some risk. Of course, you might lose some friends in the process and all that, but if you lose some friends because of you're trying to find out who you really are, then these people are probably not very good friends anyways. So maybe it's not such a big loss. As far as the job market and all that is related, I'm not really afraid personally. I think people will like me because I'm competent at what I do. I'm good at what I do, and I like my field. I like computer science and all that. So that's it. Life is about taking risks, and if you don't take risks, you don't really get anything. So I'm going to do it and fight my doubts in the meantime. So that was it. I hope you learned something from this and that it's going to help you in your transition process if you're transitioning. And so that's it for today. Have a nice day.